on Talking Black and Current.
What's up, TikTok? It's yours truly, C-No BCB. Hey, look, I'm going to be pulling up with my boy Big Lex on Talking Black and Current. Look, if you want to talk about some leadership issues, culture issues, and the issues that's in our community, tap in. March 14th. Don't miss this one.
This is not small talk. This is not watered down. This is Talking Black and Current, where black culture meets what's happening right now. We're talking the headlines they rush past, the stories they don't explain, and the conversations they rather avoid. Politics, culture, money, media, power. But from our perspective, no spin, no code switching, no permission needed. Just real conversations, real experiences, and real truth about what affects us today.
I'm coming in hot. Yeah, coming in hot. Just like the fajita. I write what I live. My life in the speaker. I'm nice with the flow. Just like the demeanor.
Hey, y'all. Hey, welcome to Talking Black. Welcome to Talking Black. Listen, today's episode is the cost of being resilient. I'm going to say that again, the cost of being resilient. Everybody loves the word resilience. You hear it every time black people survive something. A tragedy happens, a system failed us, another door closes, and the response is always the same. But look how strong they are. Strong, resilient, unbreakable. Words that sound like praises, but often hide a deeper truth. Because when people call you resilient long enough, they stop asking why you had to survive so much in the first place. They applaud the bounce back, but rarely offer support that would have prevented the fall or the fail. So today, we're asking a question people don't usually ask. What does resilient actually cost? The pressure, the burnout, the expectations that we carry, everything quiet, because survival may look powerful from the outside. But in the inside, it can be exhausting. This ain't small talk. It's not watered down. Just talking black.
Next on Talking Black and Current.
And that's a fact. Everything you lost, you gon' get it right back. Put a smile on your face, cause you know he got your back. This is what you tell them when they...
Hey man, we back. Listen, I need a favor. I need a favor. Right? We talking about resilience. Before we get into today's conversation, I want everybody to shout out this brand I got on right here. That's called TS Customs. Do all kind of shirts, hats, for your venue, for your family reunion. Don't forget, it's capital TSUTOM Creations with a Z2. All right. This is a standard podcast disclaimer. This podcast is for entertainment and information purposes only. The views and guests on this podcast are should not be taken as professional advice. Hey, do your research first. All right. So we got that out of the way. Welcome back to Talking Black. Today's episode again, we hear the word resilience, right? It sounds like a compliment, but nobody asks what it costs, right? Every time something happens, job loss, violence, policy changes, we're praised for how we bounce back. But notice how rarely the supports follow the parties, right? So I got a special guest. I need y'all to make some noise real quick. If you know resilience, ain't a quote, it's a survival. Today, we got an artist, poet. This guy's a bad dude, man, who don't rap about life. He raps from it, straight out of Fort Lauderdale. No shortcuts, no filter, no fairy tale. This is hip hop rooted in truth, struggle, reflection, bars that bite. They call them, hey, the black, they call them the black cobra of bars because every line got a venom with purpose. He speaks on reality, relationship, temptation, and resilience without hiding behind the trends, right? So if you ever had to grow up fast, if you ever turned pain into progress, if you ever had to survive something that was supposed to break you, y'all make some noise right now, for my man. Hey, and this dude here's something else, man. Y'all show your love for C No. What's up, C No?
What's up, big leg? Happy with you.
You got some
What's
lag
going on?
over there, boy. You got to fix that lag. You got some lagging going on. But hey, we're talking about resilience. You hear the conversation. Resilience become a substitute for resource. Instead of rest, we get recognition. Instead of support, we get applause. Uh, and it's an emotional labor. What folks don't understand turns us into uh, generational survival mode. You know what I'm saying? So that's our topic today is resilience.
Yeah, yeah. That's good. I still got some lag going on.
Yeah. You definitely got some lag.
Uh, Sorry
But go
about
ahead.
that.
Feel free to
Apologize.
oh,
All right, so um, resilience. That's a good one. We any man or black man would tell you that thing that's oftentimes a lot of times is overlooked. And we do have a core of people behind us. However, that core of people is very small. On the topic of resilience, man, we oftentimes are kind of not looked at as, what I'm saying, foundation. We're not as um, um, the type of person that, you know, um, humans. We looked at people that, and we're human just like anybody else. And a lot of times people forget that even in resilience, you know, like, nobody knows about, in the shower when you're praying. Nobody knows about, and when you're sitting in your car and you second guessing yourself. Nobody knows times when you before you go in your house, you question, you do the right good. Uh, to guess yourself, you know, if what you did was for the greater good. So resilience sometimes I think you take that as, like you said, like, well, look, but it's resilience is not really about being strong. It's about continuing to fight. It's about being consistent. It's about um, having the will to be consistent. Having the will to fall through. A lot of times, resilience is not about being strong because, you know, you got a lot of strong people, but it's all on what you want to deal with, what you want the result to be, and if you really, really want it. If
Yeah.
you really want it, then it's that's something that you have to push through. But oftentimes, a lot of people don't understand that. We're still human. People are still human when you're being resilient, and you go through every emotion. You go through happy. You go through sad. You go through questioning yourself. You go through, am I the person that needs to be doing this?
Right.
It's a lot that goes behind that. And people say, well, look how strong they are. You're only stronger because you have a group of people behind you that's in the back. Because there's plenty of times when I had situations I put through something and people didn't know I had people in the background that was like pulling me to the side and be like, hey Chris, hey, this here, if you do this, if you do that, if you do this, you're gonna fall in the pitfall if you go here. And you got them people in the background who never get noticed, who never, you got that team or that friend or somebody that can pull you to the side and say, no, man,
Yeah.
no.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, uh, I've been blessed to, what I'm saying, have that, in my journey to say, people in my corner be like, nah, that ain't it. That ain't it. You need to do something else. So yeah, man.
Well, I've had moments where people admire how I handle pressure, right? But never question how I had to carry it alone.
Yeah.
Where are you being praised instead of helped? Who benefits from you staying strong? Who benefits from it? For you staying strong. You had to carry that, burden, that weight, that cross, if you will, alone. And when I was talking about earlier about how we're placing, we're placing uh, praise and getting applauded for how we carry through and bounce back. Um, I said all that. What did just growing up in Fort Lauderdale or by way of Orlando, what did that teach you? Um, that that the world could.
Um, Growing up in Orlando, um, as a young black male, especially back when I would tell
I ain't gonna tell.
my,
I ain't gonna tell.
but But growing up in Orlando, when I did, um, it was a time when, okay, you know, I mean, to be honest with you, where, you know,
Hey, your sound went out. I don't know where your sound went. No, I can't hear nothing. I'm reading. I'm reading. But we're talking about talking. I'm gonna let him get that straightened up. But we're talking about uh, resilience, um, and oftentimes, like I said before, oftentimes uh, when you hear resilience or you talk about uh, how we got through, uh, it's a struggle. Like I said, when something happens, that's when you know Black Lives Matter. Uh, I can't breathe. Uh, uh, what's the other one? It's so many taglines, sound bites, if you will. Um, something has to happen to somebody that look like me for us to now stand up, and that's crazy. Uh, Again, tragedy happens, the system fails, another door closes. Um, you know, words that sound like praise, oftentimes, uh, that's what I can't say they, what that's what they think uh, that we came through. Uh, hey, C Note, you back? No, you ain't back, man. You ain't back. You ain't back. Gotta try it again. You ain't back. Gotta try it again. Get your sound. Gotta get your sound right. I don't hear nothing. Fix the sound. But anyway, um, uh, like we were saying before was it's a y'all put in the chat. I need somebody to put in the chat a time where folks uh, um, thought you were were strong. They saw you going through it. They saw you struggling. They saw you, you know, uh, what'd you say?
what'd you say? How about now?
There it is. There it is.
All right.
Go ahead, cause you was talking. We were talking about how you growing up in Fort Lauderdale, or by way of Orlando. What did it teach you that the world could?
Um, I mean, it taught me what it taught me growing up in. Okay, coming from Orlando, um, and growing up and coming and basically being in Fort Lauderdale right now is, first of all, it's two different cultures. You know, Orlando has it's two different cultures, but all at the same time. What it taught me is basically you have to stand for the right thing. You have to anything that you believe in. You and the world can't teach you that. The world can't teach you um, the basis of how to kind of stand on 10 toes. They can't teach you how to um, basically motivate your own people and rally them around your vision. They can't teach you how to do that. And what I noticed is like you have two different cultures from Orlando, and then I'm hearing people like to buy into um, or
can't teach me that. The world can't teach me to relate to my people. The world can't teach me how to listen to my people and have gripes, whether they have um, whether it's a misunderstanding of who I am and what our relationship is, that's something that we have to work through together. And sometimes it's a disconnect. It's a disconnect, and the me how to get that back. And I have to how to get that back to my people. Because sometimes it's hard. It's real hard, and even like with your own people. And I'm just going to hunt. Like it's real hard trying to get that connection with your own people, especially here in South Florida. Because you have a whole lot of different cultures that come from a set of rules and a set of a certain background that taught them this is the way you act. So in order for them to buy into a vision or in order to be relatable, the world can't teach you how to relate and embrace other cultures and say, you know what, I like that. I like that what you got going on. I like that about you. And I'm going to embrace that, but we're going to use for this that we have. So sometimes it's
Hey, you having some more sound issues. You don't went out again. That's cool. You don't went out again. Don't get that straightened out again. Let's try it one more time. Get it straightened out, and we'll be right back. What you sound like now? You good? No, you still like. Listen, what I need for some folks to do is drop in the chat. Drop in the chat. Tell me about a time. Tell me about a time where where there was ever a moment you almost chose the shortcut, or was there ever a moment where uh uh where um where you becoming uh um where survival, I'm just gonna say it this way, where survival just wasn't the answer, you had a purpose. Drop in the chat. Drop in the chat. What did the black community give you, and what did it demand from you? See, note, you back? No, you ain't back yet. You still out. Uh, there's a and to Cino's point, there's a lot of times where where we had to teach ourselves. The world couldn't teach us. We had to teach ourselves. We knew right from wrong. Old school, where we knew right from wrong, where the community, the village, if you will, I can say it that way, the village came together and 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 brought us up as I can say as black uh, men, black boys coming into men. The community brought us together, and I say that because you always had. I can go. I'm just go for old school terminology. With Big Mama or the neighbor next door, everybody called her Medea. Um, and she would know what time your parents left. She would know what time they come home, and she would know that you got no business outside while your parents not there. or your mom not there, your dad not there. And again, I say the village because that village looked out for one another. It wouldn't don't put your hands on my kid, and that as that resilience, as that where the world didn't teach us, where we had to learn from ourselves. Like, all right, we can't. I shouldn't be outside um, because Miss Pearl next door was gonna tell my mom or tell my dad that I was outside. No, there were times when I'm just gonna go. I'm just gonna go back some more and see. No, let me know when you bite. Uh, when 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 there were times when you knew that you couldn't go in your mom or your dad's room without them being there. That door always stayed closed. You couldn't answer the door. Again, I'm talking on building on that resilience, building on that making you stronger, building on that what the world didn't teach you, where you had to kind of learn for yourself in terms of right and wrong. Uh, so, you still there? You know, somebody said something about that. All right, all right, we still good. We still here. We ain't going nowhere. Um, yeah. Somebody drop in the chat. What lessons did temptation teach you? Growing up the hard way. I guess ain't nobody grew up the hard way. Everybody grew up easy. Okay. I guess I'm the only one. I'm the only one that grew up the hard way. Uh, I'm gonna go back to Miami, Dade County, if you will, where uh, there's an artist out there, a rap artist, a rapper, Trick Daddy, where he talked about mayonnaise sandwich. I know what it is to eat a mayonnaise sandwich. I know what it is to drink sugar water. I know what it is because I grew up the hard way. I knew what it is, and it taught me a lot of stuff. It taught me the value. Don't take life for granted. When you know better, you do better. But while we waiting, I got some topics to talk about too, along with this resilience. Uh, Somebody put in the chat, the
All right, so I'm back. Can you hear me now?
yeah, I hear you. Oh, I hear you loud.
All right, cool, 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 cool.
Somebody dropped this in the chat. They said grandparents kept us grounded, blessed with a close family and older cousins that kept us in line. Yeah, yeah, you definitely touched on something right there. You got them older cousins that'll come all, they'll tear off in you, especially if you doing something you don't got no business doing. I remember getting up, uh, walking to school, and on my way to school, my cousin, I walked to school. On my way to school, my cousin stayed directly across the street. So if I didn't eat breakfast or grab me something from home, I knew if I left early enough, my cousin had some oatmeal or she had something, um, some porridge. She had that down the street, right across the street from the school, and she had the timer on there. She said, "All right, you got X amount of time," and she made sure I would leave school and I just walked right across the street to her house. She'd have a lunch bag for me. It was good to have um, very easy. He definitely hit something there, brought back memories where your cousins kept you in line. My cousin again stayed across the street, and she made sure across the street from the school, and she made sure 'cause
Yeah,
I didn't have to
and
go.
they checked on you too.
Yeah,
They checked on you too. They you know
she
what I'm saying?
didn't have
They
to,
kept you accountable.
listen. My mom and my they didn't have to come to the school because my cousin stayed right across the street, and she said, "No, I'll go." And if I was out of line, she'd cut me right there.
Yep.
That's
Right where you
back in the
was.
day.
Back.
Cut me right back there. Ain't no, ain't no. I'm gonna tell my mama, you can't put your hands on me. Yeah, you getting cut right there, right where you at. But we're talking about resilience. I just want to pause for a moment, uh, and there's some things that's going on. I'm just gonna touch on some stuff. There's some stuff, but before I
It's
touch on that, I got Martinez that says, and Grandma Neighbors was hey, yeah, Grandma Neighbor was a snitch. I told you, Miss Pearl next door, she'll tell. If I was outside, she'll tell. Hey, she'll tell that I was outside. Hey, she may give me a grab a switch and give me a couple of licks, and then she gonna tell mom. She gonna tell her, and when they come home, then I'm gonna get it again.
hey,
And God forbid she tell grandma, because then grandma is
uh-huh. Miss Pearlie.
Miss
Uh
Lee. Yeah,
and Anna Mae Jenkins. Mm-hmm.
get on you. That's them old. That's them old names. Them names that carried some weight. That carried that switch. That carried that slipper. That carried that hanger. Watch this. I'm gonna even go deeper. That carried that extension cord.
What?
Yeah, yeah.
Let's not start talking about the race contract. Just saying.
No, but I mean, but look what it look how it made us.
Yeah.
You know what
And
I'm
and
saying? Don't have
I
no.
think
You don't have. Go ahead.
Billy, hey, I really do think that is relevant to the resilience. I'm gonna go back to Dre's comment when he said we had grandparents that kept us grounded. And what that really means is, like, like our grandparents, like, they help us, they held us accountable.
Yeah.
And the accountability part is the element to resilience, right? You can't be resilient without any type of accountability. Um, so I think that was a piece, or that is a piece, as far as resilience. But to your point, or to Dre E's point, that was what, you know that element was to make us, and where we wind up, where we could be resilient.
Hey, you're right. Watch this. Dre hit it again. Dre said, Dre say, you get in trouble and hey, he ain't never lied right there. Grandma on the phone telling everybody at church what done happened. And now everybody looking at you sideways when you go into the church.
Yep, accountability.
Boy, you know you should. Yeah, yeah. You know you shouldn't. But again, that's that village that I was talking about. That's that black community when it's family. We
Hmm.
considered each other family. We knew better. We can go. That they're saying that they joke now about. I remember Martin saying, giving a joke in one of his movies, saying, "I just want to borrow some brown sugar."
Hmm.
We used to go next door get some sugar.
Yep.
Go down the street get some rice. All they got is these dry beans. We'll go down. Listen, hey, ain't no disrespect to no pinto bean eaters, no lima bean eaters, but I couldn't stand. I think I ate so much of it. I don't like it. I don't like it. I was forced to eat it. I
Hmm.
was forced to eat it. But I just want to talk real quick, take a small break, and let's talk about some stuff that's happening right now in the news.
Mm.
And uh, this whole thing with uh,
Talk to
black
me.
women face a 7.1% of unemployment rate nowadays, the highest among all demographics, right? Um, uh, it's also driven partly by the retreat from the corporate DEI, the
Hmm.
DEI effort. The Target boycott still remains a significant protest. what's your thoughts on that? Y'all drop that in the chat. Let's talk about that the Target boycott. I hear a lot of swirl about Pastor Jamal Bryant, how he's taken ownership of it when there were a group of women that actually started that, and how it's safe. We can talk about we can talk about this. We can talk about this candidly because it's conversation. It's an open conversation. We can talk about it. Everybody's entitled to their opinion, and that's what's happening. So I can't say folks are wrong for their opinion. I can't say they're right for their opinion because everybody's entitled to their own opinion. Your thoughts, on the Target boycott and how it's being handled now that again these women started it. Pastor Jamal Bryant, hey, I messes with Jamal Bryant. I
Yep.
It's a long story I can tell y'all about he and I a while back, some years ago. But I messes with him. And but we all entitled to our own opinion in terms of the boycott, in terms of how it was handled. Some folks said he called the boycott off because he was paid off. Some folks say, well, he shouldn't have called it off. He should have got with the group of women that started it first and asked them their opinion. Hey, they met our demands on this, but they missed this. What y'all think? You want to continue to move forward with the boycott, or you want to call it off? So it may conversation may or may not have happened, but again, like I said before, we all entitled to our own opinion. Go ahead,
Um, Listen. The thing is, in Big Legs, you know how that kind of goes. We have politics and everything, and my opinion is, I really do think he should have got with the ladies who started it. I really do think he should have probably came up with sometimes you have to draw back and regroup, and I think he should have got with these ladies and just, hey, look, this is what's happening. This is what the challenges we facing. So let's regroup and let's see what avenue that we want to go and finish this work. So because it is work. Boycotts is a mission. Boycotts is part of a movement that you're trying to make to not only get a point across, but is basically a revelation in a sense. So I really do think that yeah, and in my opinion, I really do think he should have kind of went back and kind of regroup with the ladies who started it, and kind of say, okay, what kind of avenue can we take to you know get this same message out, but all at the same time, make the impact that we want to make, with the challenges that we have, and that's my opinion.
no, you spot on. You spot on. Is again that 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 Target boycott remains a significant protest uh, uh, with many black women, even today, many black women feeling uh, permanently sidelined or betrayed because of what happened. Um, On to other stuff is the wealth gap. Black homeownership rate fell to 43.9 percent in early 2025, exacerbating the persistence of racial wealth. We can go into discussion around the impact of Trump administration and policies on Black and Brown communities. I pause right there for another good. See, no, you good?
Yeah. So wait a minute. What was that? Because I'm sorry, Big Legs.
So the discussion around the impact of the Trump administration policies on Black and Brown communities, including concerns over air population regulation. Um, what's your concerns on the Trump administration on Black and Brown?
um
I give you brief real quick. You'll
it's a
highlight.
lot.
You know,
Okay, so let's
it's
go
a lot
ahead.
to unpack there. It's a lot to
Let
unpack. There. I know.
It's
I
a
know.
lot to unpack right there. Like yeah, I mean we can go back to how right now he's the administration, the Trump administration right now is basically trying to undo um every civil rights statute that we have right now in America. From the DEI, as you spoke of earlier, the DEI, he's basically reversing everything that has ever been laid out to give our people, Black people, the right to vote, the right for a vote, the right to hold a job, to hold a executive job, to hold a job where we're qualified for, where before, you know what I'm saying, back in the 60s and back in the 70s, you know what I'm saying? Like even when I was born, like you couldn't hold those type of jobs. We have CEOs, we have Black brilliant women who are CEOs who are doing a thing. Not only Black women, Black men who are brilliant. You know what I'm saying? Because to be honest with you, so let's keep it 100. Um, when we start talking about, even in the streets, you have drug dealers and stuff like that. These are businessmen. These are businessmen. But the thing about it is DEI opened the door for even Raekwon and Tyrone and all of them to come in and share their talent with these companies. And they had it anyway, but the thing about it is DEI was that program or was that statue that had everybody to come in and share their talent, because we have some brilliant sisters and brothers out there who was never given a chance. And they was never given a chance because of their name. It was never given a chance because of their family background. It was never given a chance because of them being Black. And this administration right now is rolling back the fact that, okay, you know what I'm saying? If you're Black, I don't care if you're qualified, you're not getting in. And it brings back the Jim Crow, you know what I'm saying, the Jim Crow age. So those are my thoughts on it, and I see what's happening, and that goes back to your point, Lex, when you was talking about the Black or the African American female, or and the how they're losing jobs. Remember, I think even in when Trump first came in, the first thing he did was fire the woman who was the president of the National Mediation Board. He got rid of her. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like he's sending a message. He's sending a message, and I hope everybody's hearing this loud and clear and understanding that if our votes wasn't powerful, if our voice wasn't powerful, why would you suppress it? You know what I'm saying? Is and I get a lot from my community. Well, why should I vote? Why should I waste my time voting when
it's going to be rigged. And the point is, they wouldn't try to suppress anything that wasn't powerful,
Right.
you know? So this administration right now is rolling back a lot. It was on the news the other day on how he is trying to get rid of, well, not trying to get rid of, but he is trying to make it where, especially in the state of Florida, where you have to have a passport. You know what I'm saying? You have to have a passport and to kind of validate your residency or your citizenship, or and for the most part, guess what? If I was born here, I got a birth certificate. I don't have a passport.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So he's making it harder for people to be able to get out there and vote. And I really do think that we have to start paying more attention. And this is part of resilience, and what we have to pay attention to what's actually going on, and being current um,
Yeah.
of what's going on, so we know how to move. So that's my thoughts on that.
If I was to say, if I was to say, let me before I say this here. Before I say this, I just want what I like is the audience engagement. I love the audience engagement. You guys continue dropping in the chat, dropping your comments. I love the audience engagement. That's what we're here for. That's what this platform is for the audience. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. But I want to share something. Dre dropped in again. So you only get one chance to make the first impression, and it's extremely difficult when that impression is based on the color of your skin. Man, those are facts.
That is absolutely
Those
fact.
are facts. And that old cliche is don't judge a book by its cover. You and I used to make when long time ago. So for y'all, for the audience,
Talk to him.
and I go way back where we would use the saying, "We just look like this," and we could go and run numbers just
Hmm.
like the executives do, and put up pivot tables and so forth. We'll go and do that if it means getting our point across. If it means you hearing us, if it means you're hearing us, we will get our point across somewhere. So those are the number watchers of metric watchers looking at the metrics. Okay, no problem. I'll show you metrics. I'll show you data. Since
Yep.
if that's what you understand, I'll show you data. I'll show you that.
As a matter of fact, Billy's like, this is the thing. We've been in rooms where that was the only thing that we came in with, because we knew that was the only thing they understood. And Dre, like, you spot on. You spot on. The first impression that we had to make sometimes was the data. It
Yeah,
wasn't the color of our skin. It wasn't our personalities. It wasn't how brilliant we was. It was the data. And that was our first impression. Um, listen, like, they're spot on about that. Like,
yeah, yeah.
and like you said, you only get that one chance,
That one.
and it
That's
lets you know,
watch this, and that's all we was wanting. Is
and
to
that's all we
is,
wanted.
is to get in front of somebody who can make the call. That's all we
Yeah,
wanted.
that's it.
Get in front of somebody. Once we got in front of that person that made the call, they was inviting us every time. Oh yeah, we need that take on this, and we need that take on that. And listen, it wasn't just. I made a comment about just last show. I made a comment about when we speak, then that's when the volume goes down. It's how you do it.
Yeah.
It's how you do it. And if they're willing, again, it didn't happen soon as we asked. We stayed persistent at it. We stayed
Mhm.
digging at it. We met in meetings. We had long meetings, and we sat there until our voice was heard.
Yep.
And in order to speak the same language, we had to get on that caliber where they was at so they can hear us and they can see what we're talking about.
Hey, but Lex, check it out. Check it out, right? Even though we knew we was on a different level and we was on a higher level than where we was or the people that we was actually talking to,
Yeah.
we knew that.
Yeah.
We had to actually I wouldn't even use the term dummy down, but we would had to actually use the same language that they was used to
Yeah.
in order to get a point across. Because to be honest with you, like we already came in that room advanced. We was already advanced.
Yeah.
And back to Dre's point, we only got that one chance to make that expression and that first impression. And that first impression had to be the language that they already knew. Not necessarily that we was already advanced. We already knew,
Yeah.
you know.
It had to be on point. And don't get it twisted. We didn't have it right the first time
Yeah,
when we got together, but we had it right the first time, to Dre's point, when we got in front of it.
right.
Oh, wait a minute. No, we can't come in there with this. We got to come in there with that. We need more of this. We need less of that. We need to talk about this, and we need to stay aligned with that. Because one can get so excited on something that we all over the place,
Mhm.
all over the place. But we hit. We sat in a room. We sat in a room, and we basically played negative Nancy to each other. Like, what if that don't go this way? And what if they ask about this? We got to be ready for. We had to be ready for everything. So it was almost like boot camp, like almost like training. We in
Mhm.
training, coming at each other. Oh no, this is what they want. This is what, and we have to say. And excuse me for using the expression they, because we knew what they was expecting. We knew what
Mhm.
they wasn't expecting.
Yep.
And so it was very important for us to know the difference between the two, that we knew what they wasn't expecting. So we had
Mhm.
to come up what they wasn't expecting, which is why we prep and we prep. And when we finally got that shot, we finally got that shot.
So
It was over.
let's what I also want to talk about as far as the term of resilience of how many times that we've sat in the room amongst ourselves, me and you and a team of people, and we walked out of that room not even liking each other at the end of the day, but knew that the bigger picture was what we was putting together. Um, and like you said, we didn't get it right the first time, but we got in these rooms with our teams, and we walked out some days not even liking each other.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Let's can we be 100 about that?
We
Like we
100. We listen. It was a whole lot of carrying on going on in that one room. But 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 the good part about that is we kept it in that room.
we kept it in the room.
We kept it in that room. When we stepped out, we stepped out. Oh, all right, yeah, same time tomorrow. Okay, yeah, this, that, and other. But I want so Dre say a wise man once told me. He said, in these rooms, you have to be the thermostat, not the thermometer. Hey, hey,
Absolutely.
hey, Dre, you mind me asking you, and you drop in the chat where you got that from? Who told you that? Who told you that?
Hey, I bet you it was his uncle Grady. Grady. That
Listen,
was Uncle Grady. Uncle Don, Uncle Larry.
but you
That was
but that's the thing. You have to set, and that's what we did. So to Dre's point, that's what we did.
yeah.
And what you got to realize, the difference between a thermostat and a thermometer. That's what you have to realize. And we walked in there. We walked in there as the thermostat.
Yep.
not the thermometer. The thermostat sets the temperature in the room.
Hmm. And I like what just being Sarah said too is being qualified but often overlooked.
Yeah.
Um, a lot of times you can be qualified and they overlook your qualifications and because of your color. They overlook your qualification because of
Yeah.
your color.
Yeah.
And you walk in the door and you can be this you can be hey look, hey Dre, I already know. Dre, I already know that was Uncle Larry. That was that. That was. But to Sarah's point, you walk in the door and a lot of times you overqualified and you looked over because of the color of your skin. Let's just keep it 100. Like and what we was talking
Overqualified,
about last is
folks are intimidated, and there's nothing to be intimidated about. I said this before, and Chris, you've heard me say this. I, I would share with you, and I believe Dre has heard me say this. I would share with you everything that I know.
absolutely.
And the reason why I would share everything that I know, I'm not intimidated because I remember uh, a while back I was told the knowledge, a wise man, to Dre's point, a wise man is one thing. The things of the stuff that I know, it does no use to me keeping it to myself.
Absolutely.
Does no use. Why don't I share it with somebody to build them up, for them to
Hmm.
crash that, for them to register that? They can take that. That's just like training somebody. You train somebody this way, and then they go with you, and you train them that way, and then they go with Dre, and Dre trains them this way, and then what you do with all that? You take all that you've learned from myself, you, Dre, and whomever, and you put it in a box, you shake it up, and you make it
Hmm.
your own. You make it your
Yeah.
own. You don't have. It can be, but it don't have to be a carbon copy. You put your own signature on it.
Hmm.
You can put your own twist on it. But it does me it does nothing for me to keep the knowledge. So again, that intimidating piece. If I see somebody, I remember telling Chris this a while back, uh, and he understood. I said, "Hey, somebody gotta, somebody gotta. I ain't gonna be here long. Somebody gotta take this spot."
Yeah, I remember that.
And everybody was like, "Well, where you going? You quit? What you doing? You going somewhere? Where you going?" That's because folks' mindset was so complacent in where they are, as opposed to learning how to do this, learning how to educate, learning how to develop yourself, learning how to take on your workload. If I can take on your workload, then if you want to move on to something else, guess what? I can pick it up. I
Hmm.
can pick it up and take it where you left off. And so he understood that, but a lot of other folks didn't. Well, where you going? And this, that, and, other, and how you do, and but again, that comes with complacency. That comes with what you say. Um, uh, and it's still in that conversation I talked about resilience. I got one question for you, and we had we had an hour. We had an hour. I got one question for you. I want you to finish this sentence. Resilience is,
Oh, that's for me.
and that's for you, and that's for the folks in the chat. Resilience is, and finish that sentence.
Resilience is legacy building. Resilience is legacy building.
Um, and a lot of times it's hard to build a legacy. Um, but that's what it is. Resilience is legacy building. Um, to Dre's point, you give a man a fish, you feed him for a day, teach a man a fish, and you feed him for a lifetime. Resilience is doing just that. It's legacy building. You're actually, to your point, Lex, like you teaching people how to move on without you.
Yeah. Yeah.
You teaching people how to move on without you. You teaching people how to carry on and maintain without you. Resilience is like you saying, and Drake got it spot on. Like you teaching people how to basically, how can I say, be that spot next to you that you need for support. And to be honest, and we haven't really touched on the deeper stuff. To be honest with you, like we really haven't. We kind of stayed on the surface a little bit, but the part is as far as resilience. Resilience is legacy building, and part of legacy building is a lot of elements to that. And I think we spoke on a lot of that, but that's what it is. It's legacy building, and when you're resilient, you build legacies. Martin Luther King was a legacy builder. Malcolm X was a legacy builder. Um, our Jesse Jackson was a legacy builder. He was resilient, you know. And as critical as most people can be to our black legacy builders, you know what I'm saying? What I do want to make sure that I say is that all the legacy builders are human. They're gonna mess up. They're gonna make mistakes.
Yeah.
They're gonna they're gonna have flaws. You know what I'm saying? And I think a lot of times we focus on, and I'm saying this for my people, and I love my people. A lot of times we focus on the flaws more than we do the legacy.
Right.
And the legacy that Jesse Jackson built, Martin Luther King built, Malcolm X built, a lot of these, you know, very powerful leaders that knew what the vision was in front of them and kept it moving according to the vision. And they taught people along the way about the vision, and they built legacies out of it. So, yeah.
Yeah, you spot on with that. Listen, see, note, this is what I need from you. Let everybody know in the chat. Let the audience know how you could be reached, where to find you, where to find your music. Uh, Go ahead, tell everybody where you could be reached, where they can find your music.
All right, so I'm on all streaming platforms from Pandora, Apple Music, Tidal, any musical platform. You can find me at C Note underscore BCB Black Cobra Bars. I'm also on Instagram at C Note underscore BCB, TikTok C Note BCB. Most of the times, mostly like unlike this platform right here with Big Lex, it's mainly about the music with me, but it goes a lot deeper. Like he said, um, we go way back, and and I know Big Lex. He know a lot about resilience. He's been a great friend of mine, and I've watched him grow in life and just keep it pushing. So I want to say to you, Big Lex, I'm proud of you, bro. I'm proud of you what you're doing. I'm proud of this platform because we need this. We need this. We actually need this conversation. We need for our people to be able to have a place to come and talk about real issues and for it to be unfiltered and for it to be, reputable. You know what I'm saying? And not messy. You know what I mean? Just some real talk. But yeah, I'm on Instagram, CNote BCB under CNote underscore BCB, Instagram. TikTok, same thing. And I'm on all streaming platforms, whether it's Apple Music, Pandora, Tidal, Amazon Music. I'm on all streaming platforms. I'm working on I'm working on a lot of different tracks right now. So hopefully in midsummer, late summer, like I'm probably dropping about 6 different songs. I'm talking with my team right now. They want me to do an album. I'm not really an album type person, but they're trying to get me to do an album. And I don't know if I want to do that because I do have a career, and the songwriting and songs is just for my people to try to relate and to put something more relevant out there in the industry. But in midsummer week, you should see something out there from C Note VCB, some new stuff. It's good stuff. Good stuff.
Definitely keep it going. Hey, and then y'all heard that song in the intro. That's one of his that's his one of his songs that was dedicated to Mama V.
Mama
And,
V.
yeah, that was dedicated to Mama V. So again, y'all follow him, check out the music. Um, and I just want to just acknowledge Dre's resilience is knowledge of self. That no matter what the circumstances, you know that you can rise above. The race is you against you. Wow.
Absolutely.
Yeah. 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 Sky's not the limit; it's only a view. Man, that's powerful. There, Dre.
Yeah,
Powerful.
that's deep.
Yeah, man.
And that's a lot to unpack even in that saying.
Yeah. You put on some scuba gear when you put that on.
Yeah, he did. That ain't snorkeling. That ain't snorkeling. That's
Nah,
you got the fins, you got the air tank, you got all that. You just
but hey, uh, I just want to leave y'all with this. If I ain't leave you with anything, I want to leave you with this: that resilience shouldn't be a choice, um, not a requirement. Uh, resilience should be a choice, not a requirement. Sorry, it should be a choice, not a requirement. Rest is not weakness, and survival is not the goal. Hey, y'all stay aware, stay engaged, stay current, stay black. This is Talking Black. Y'all take it easy.
all right.